I'll give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars and the mountains. I'll give you the world and all that you will.
Hey guys, so I'm Alicia J, and I wanted to redo the video on making your own paint and sip canvases on the Cricut Maker. From what I understand, this should work on the Air as well. I've been getting some questions, and I just want to kind of like just go back through and do a real kind of like step-by-step video of how I do it. And everything I have is pretty much brand new, so minus the maker, of course. But so I just wanted to show you guys. Okay, these are the supplies that I'll be using. Scissors is optional. This is a standard grip mat, and this is by the Paper Studio. So this is the Hobby Lobby brand standard grip mat. I have my Cricut Maker pens. If I can get it to focus. So this is the Cricut Maker, and of course I got it from Hobby Lobby, and that's the price there. It comes in a variety of sizes. I'm going to be using the 0.04 size here. Then I have my canvases. So I use these from the Dollar Tree, and they are the Crafter's Square canvases. And I get the artist canvas, and this happens to be an 8x10. You can do it in any size, but it's most important that it is the artist canvas. What I like to tell my clients, customers, when they purchase that, this is not the typical canvas. This is very thin, as you can see there. It is the thin canvas, and it has to be thin like this, so that way it can go underneath the roller of your Cricut or your Air. Air 2. And again, this is, I cannot stress this enough, it has to be this artist canvas or it will not work. Okay, last but well, second to last, obviously you have to have a machine. Next, I'm using this painter's tape, and this also comes from the Dollar Tree. You can use any kind of tape, but I prefer to use the painter's tape, because it does not mess up my my grip mat. And again, this is from the Dollar Tree, and it works. I actually have like different kinds. I have the 3M or whatever painter's tape, but I just want to show that this works just as well as an inexpensive option. Okay, so before I go over to the computer, I'm going to show you how I tape this board down. Okay, so bear with me. Okay, so before I begin, I just wanted to point out with these pins that how they rate. So of course this goes from 0.4 all the way to 2 point, smallest to largest, and again I'm using the 0.4. And then if you wanted to see how it's scribbled, this is the smallest and then the largest, and of course I want to use the smallest. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so I have my standard grip mat. This one has been used a few times, but it is fairly new. Of course, you don't have to use a new one, so I am literally just unwrapping everything right in front of you. And one of the things I like to do when I am purchasing my boards at the Dollar Tree is I like to actually look at them in the packaging. And what I check for is to see like if they're bent badly or anything. Like this has a slight bend in the middle. This second board I have here is flat, but this one does have a slight bend in the middle. You probably won't notice it like on the screen, but I can kind of see it, which is fine. So I want to use the one that's imperfect, so that way, you know, I usually take like my tweezers or my weeding tool or whatever. I have like a point sharp edge or whatever, and unwrap this plastic off of it. Okay, so here's my board. Now when I line my board up, I don't put it right at the 0 mark on the corner. I like to take it over to the 1 inch. Reason being is it gives me wiggle room to adjust my design once I get it on the maker. It helps me, so I know that when I am lining this up on in the display before you get ready to cut, I place my design, because I usually do a 1 inch border, so I know my design needs to go between 2 and 8 and between 1 and 9 on this side, so my design is right in the middle of the painting, and I know I have room. Also, that allows me time, enough space to prep and put my tape around on a clear edge. So I'm going to open this tape and find my edge and take a strip off if I can find it. I think if I can find it, let's see, this on there pretty finely. Okay, I have my tape and I'll just take a strip, and what I'll do is start right here at the top of the board, and again, I know I have up to 2 inches to work with, but I'll just place it down and off. Okay, I'm gonna turn it this way so it might be a little better, easier to see. So it's down, and it's my 2 inch mark is right here. That's my 1 inch mark, so that gives me a lot of leeway around my design. Nextly, like that's a word, I'm sorry. Next, what I'll do is I'll pull the tape back a little bit and run my fingernails, excuse my hands, they're ashy like a mug. Run my fingernail along the side to grip it down. I also will do the same for this, and keep in mind, because this is a new board, something out here, it's very tacky, which is good. And I'll do the same, and I'll run my finger right down the side of the board. I need to get some lotion because this is embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then plaster this down. With me running my finger down the sides of this, it's going to make sure that when this board goes into the Cricut, it will not move. I'm sorry, y'all have to deal with my ashy hands. Okay, and then you want to do that for all 4 edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one for you, then I'll speed this part up so that way you don't have to watch. So a quicker way to do it, if you don't want to do it twice and pull it back up, just measure off the top, start at one corner, enough, like you said, you want to make sure you hold it down, run your finger along the edge, flatten that, run your finger along this edge, perfect, and smooth that out. I'll do the same thing with these two. Now we have all 4 sides taped down. Let me bring it up to the camera so you can see it better. So as you see, it's like really pressed down on the edge. That means this board will not move in or go anywhere. It is crease, honey. Alright, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to open my pens and get my pen out. Now I will say this step is very important of putting this board down. It is very important when you put this board down, because if the placement is not correct to feed this into the machine, and let's say you know, you started this at the 1 inch or whatever, and it's not taped down that well at that 1 inch mark, or if your design is over too far, if that pen goes off the side of this board, and try to come back on, you'll break that tip. Believe me, I broke both of my black pens. This is why I had to buy a whole new set of pens because of that. So yeah, be careful. So I have, oh, this is not it. I wear this. So yeah, your pen will break, and then that will be the end of that pen with perfectly good ink in there that you can no longer use. All right. And I'll list all these items in the description as well. All right. I'm just going to load this pen into the thing. So you hear it, you want to make sure that it clamps down. I'm sure you know how to use that, and then close. All right. Perfect. And so now my board, my pen, my maker is all ready to go. So now I am going to move over to the computer and show you how I set up my portrait to be ready to paint. Sorry guys, the audio sounds horrible here, but I'm doing a voiceover. So here are the two images I'm going to use. This elephant and the bear I got off of Google, and I had to go in and clear out the white spacing to make it, you know, like a coloring page. Next, what I did was take two rectangles. This is going to represent the canvas and then the space that we have to design in. So the first one, the gray one, I did it at a 10 by 8, or you can do it 8 by 10 depending on how you taped it on your board. And then the lavender, I just went in 1 inch. So with the lavender, I did that as a 9 by 7, and I placed that on top. So that way I can do that. And then I just grouped it and then centered, made sure it was centered in the middle, and then of course grouped. Next, what I'm doing here is I'm going to take our image and place it in the front of that box. So yep, center front, and then place it in there. And then you just want to stretch this out until it, you know, looks like the desired shape or feel that you want your picture to have. So I try to fill out the box as much as I can. So that's just me adjusting it. So yep, you want to try to get as much room in that box and stretch your image out. Once you do, you just want to go ahead and lock it, and then you can move that off to the side. Okay. Our next image, the bear, I'm going to go ahead and start working with that. Doing the same thing, I need to move that to the front. I was having some issues moving it to the front, so I eventually had to take my my template and send that to the back so that way it can move to the front. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know why I wouldn't do that, but for some reason it just would not go to the front. So that's what I'm doing there. And then you see I'm like, okay, I'm just going to move this to the back and put the image on top. Perfect. So as is, this image is listed as a print then cut, so we have to change that over to pen. I just wanted to do that together with you guys. So I just clicked underneath operations and then switched to pen underneath draw. My computer was running a little slow this morning, so I don't know. And once you do that, it'll change to there. You can go back up to that box there, and you can make sure that, you know, you can pick whatever color you want, but the most importantly is that it's on the fine point 0.4, which is the pen that we're going to use. I've tried this with the glitter gel pen as well. That worked fine. Only thing was it did look a little wet, like it took a minute for it to dry before I could touch it or it would smear. But that did work. Only difference was it was just a little thicker. But here nor there, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to unlock it, and we're just going to adjust it in that box as well to the size that you would like. And again, you can do this horizontally or vertical. It's up to you either way, but it did work the same. And that's what I'm doing here, is just adjusting it. Okay. So once you have that adjusted, you can go ahead and delete these boxes out, your templates, and now we can get ready to send to the maker so that way we can draw these out. So those are your images there. this is also a good point to go ahead and look at the direction of the board, whether you have a horizontal or vertical. Okay, so now we have our image here. I'm just going to do this the long way. So let's say if you did your board with the long way across, the 10-inch going widthwise and the 8-inch going lengthwise, you want to make sure that you place those in between those markers. So if you taped at the top of the board at the 1-inch mark, you want to make sure that your board is going to be between 1 inch and 11 inches, which give you 10. And then from lengthwise, it's going to be from 1 inch to 8 inches. And you want to try to place that image, eyeball it right in the middle. Keep in mind that if you taped over, because you have that 1-inch leeway, that you don't want to go past the 1 inch or where your design is, because the pen will just write over the tape. If you're a good drawer, or if it's something small, like most time I get something small, I'll just go in and fix it with the pen. You probably won't even be able to tell, but here I'm just showing that you want to go between the 1 and 11 and the 1 and 8 and put that right in the middle if you do it the longer way, being 10 inches by 8 inches, which is what we had in the template. So showing that. And again, eyeballing it right in the middle. Okay, so this is sitting pretty good. And I'm just going to go ahead and switch over to the second image. I'm going to do this the way that I showed you guys that I taped it, which was the shorter way, being the width being 8-inch and the length being 10 inches. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our image and turn it that same direction. And you want to make sure that it's straight. Perfect. And again, I taped it right at the top of the board at that 1-inch mark and 1 inch over. So across the top, you want to make sure that your image is between the 1 and the 9-inch marker widthwise, and in between the 1 and the 10-inch marker lengthwise. And you want to place that image right in the middle. So that way, again, it will mark in the middle of your board. And like I said before, I've messed up many times. There's been times where this has not worked for me, as some have stated for them. But I have had a lot of good successes. So again, this is a 50-50 chance. I can't promise. And yeah. So now that everything's fine, we're going to go ahead and connect it to our maker. And we'll set the materials. For material, I like to use a medium cardstock that I have on the second row. I'm going to just browse this because I don't think there's one for canvas. So I'm just going to type in canvas here and see. Okay. Yeah, just plastic canvas. Yeah, so no, that I don't think that'll work. So yeah, I just use a medium cardstock as my base material. And then it's going to, of course, tell us to set our pins, and which we've done that already. And then once you have that, I'm just going to load it in, or act like I'm loading in, just so you can see that third option. And yeah, it's going to say press and go. I wouldn't advise doing fast mode because you just want this to take its time. You don't want anything to happen, the pen to break because it's going too fast. Because believe me, I broke many pens, and I do not know if there is a way to fix that. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how to load the mat. Okay, so I'm going to load my Cricut in here. One of the important things that I missed before is these wheels. You want to move these all the way to the side. So that way you won't get any lines in your board. Actually, it's probably better if you move them all four all the way to the right side. So that way they're out the way. And then, sorry, I'm doing this with one hand. I'm going to load my mat. What I make sure is the mat goes right underneath. And as you see, because it's taped down so well and so flat, I won't have any issues. Now let's run it. See what happens here. Prime example, I have my board going the wrong way. And I had it going the long way in this here. You can set your board up this way, but you gotta remember too, you're gonna have to flip your image to go the length of your board. So this is actually going to come out incorrectly, and my pen will eventually run off and it will possibly break. So I'm going to unload this and do this again. So let's fix this. Okay, take two, right? So, I mean, it happens. This is trial and error. So, I made a simple mistake. But still, same rules apply. So, I want my picture to actually, I placed it on the design space like this. So, it stopped at the 1 mark and end at the 11 mark, as I was telling y'all before. So, that is the 1 inch mark. This is the 11 inch mark. And then here's the 1 inch mark here. And then the 8 inch mark. Right, exactly where I was gonna put it. Hey, it happens, you know. You gotta laugh. So, same rules apply. I'll go ahead, measure off my tape, stick one end down. Remember that I have a 1 inch, which is nice because I have this guide, so I know I have between, you know, between here and here worth of room. And I will take it, mark it down. And this is dollar store tape, so I don't feel bad. I mean, you probably could, honestly. I've taken it off and reused the same 4 pieces of tape for the next board. You definitely can. If you don't, I mean, of course, it's up to you. Especially if you're adding this into, you know, your costs. You can get a little bit more of a bang for your buck. But me personally, it depends, honestly. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, sometimes I will reuse the same 4 pieces of tape twice, sometimes 3 times if it works. Sometimes I won't. But considering, like I said, this is a fresh board, it is sticking down pretty well. If I had some boards that would have been used a few times, because like when I pulled this up, the back of it, some of the back did come off of it because I just ripped it up. I didn't carefully take it off. So on older boards, you would definitely have to tape it out as well. This one probably not as much. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and load this back in here. Oh, okay, so you heard that? That means my board's not in here even. Let's try that again. There we go. Once again, remembering to put those 4 items here all the way to the side gives you room for it to run off. And now that everything is here correctly, let's go ahead and start that up again. See what happens. Okay, so we got an issue. Something happened to my script. Thing is blinking. This does happen to me too, like, guys. Like, it is honestly trying error. I heard when it was going, something like shifted. So I don't know if it couldn't have been my board, because my board is down tight. My board has not moved, but name of the game, right? Let's figure this out. Okay, so now we're all done. We have everything out. So our canvases are here. So we're done. I'm gonna show you how I package these. So I use, and again, I'll place links in the description box, but I use these self-sealed. I use these self-sealed clear bags. They are 9 by 12. And I buy this off Amazon. Again, I'll put a link in the description. I also use, these are from clear bags. I bought these some time ago, but I also use these, and they're 2.5 by 8.5. And so and everything else, I'll leave in the description. So I have my clear bag. I put my individual paint pots into here, and again, I'll leave a link in the description. And also, I get my paint from the Dollar Tree. My brushes I get from the Dollar Tree. Put 2 of these in. My mini easels, I ordered these from Amazon, and again, I'll put a link in the description. And then apron I get from the Dollar Tree as well, and I just literally put everything inside. Just like so. This is sticking because I took that off already, but slide it in. Yeah. Put a business label at the bottom. A business label at the bottom, and I'm done. It's perfect and protected. Okay, that's it.